It's Monday blues on the Lal Street. The Sensex and the Nifty continue to fall on the back of weak global cues. The Nifty breaches its budget day low of 17,353, while the Sensex falls below that 59,000 levels briefly. The Nifty bank relative outperformer.
Bajaj Auto is the top loser today on news that the company will take 25% production cut. The management tells CNBC-TV18 that export production has been lower for the two-wheeler exporters for the last few months.
ATM gains. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that Bharti Group was in talks with the company for a stake buy, but the deal fell through as Paytm management have declined to give up management control.
IRB Infra gains after the company backs 2,100 crore project from National Highways Authority of India. The project involves upgradation of NH27 to 6 lanes in the state of Gujarat. Emphasis falls in trade. The management tells Citi that the deal total contract value will reverse, or conversion is going to slow down in the current macro environment. Citi maintains a sell on the stock, as a result of which it's down 6%. Hello and welcome to Chartbusters. I'm Nigel D'Souza, and joining me as always is Mangalam Malu. Well, Mangalam, not a great morning for the bulls at all. We're at the low point of the day. That initial rebound from around the 200 DMA or the budget days lows, well, that's met with further selling. So as we speak, we are seeing some selling. And the problem pocket today is the IT pack. The Nifty bank is doing a relative outperformance. One would think that that needs to, see a bit of a rally for the Nifty to recover, because that's been a drag. But the IT index is under pressure. The Nasdaq was a big underperformer in Friday's trading session in the United States. And that explains why the markets are at the low point of the day, Mangalam. Absolutely, Nigel. We will monitor that. The Nifty bank's rebound also happened from the 10% correction from the top mark, which is close to around 39,750 odd. If we were to equate that on the Nifty, then the Nifty rebound would be close to 17,000. Not sure whether we can go there or not, but for now, the 200-day moving average has been breached. A lot of people were banking on support coming in from there, but there has been some outperformance from the Nifty bank. Let's see whether that sustains or not. Aditya Agarwala joins in for a quick technical check on the market. Aditya, your thoughts on what are the next levels that we should be looking at now that 200-day moving average has been breached?
Morning, Mangalam. Morning, Nigel. Thanks for having the show. Clearly, there's a bit of a selling pressure, and we have seen that in the past few trading sessions as well. And as you mentioned out at the start of the show, 200 DMA is breached, the budget day low is breached. So there's just a bit of a selling pressure in the market. 17,350, 17,370 now will act as a resistance on the upside. If we don't close above that in a day or two, maybe chances are we could slide all the way down to 17,100 as well, which is the next line of support. So traders should be a little cautious, should also keep a close eye on the VIX, because if that starts to trade above the level of 16, Mangalam, my belief is there could be more volatility that we'll see in the market, and you could see bouts of sharp cuts and profit booking in sector specific as well. And as you mentioned, maybe Bank Nifty is something which will now show some signs of a resilience, but I'm not sure how long it will hold that ground. 39,700, 39,600 is something I'm eyeing closely. If that is broken on the downside, chances are high Bank Nifty too could slide all the way down to sub 39,000 levels. I'm not saying that too much of a selling pressure will happen, but yes, one should be a little cautious in the markets.
Okay, all right. Hi, Aditya. What about individual stocks? What are you looking at?
Hi, Nigel. So definitely I've got a buy and a sell because after this massive correction, there could be a slight recovery in the market, can't be ruled out. So the buy is in the NTPC, the power sector, which is showing some kind of a strength in past two trading sessions. So NTPC can be bought at current levels. Look for a target of 185 on the upside with a stop loss at 167 on the downside. And the second stock recommendation is a sell from the pack. That is where we are seeing some bit of a selling pressure. So Tata Steel has broken down from a good support level, can be headed to 100, 104 on the downside. So go ahead, short Tata Steel for a target of 104, 100 on the downside with a stop loss at 110 on the upside.
All right, thanks a lot, Aditya, for joining in and giving us these calls on individual stocks as well as the index. With that, we'll say focus to our special segment. We get you a few ideas of profit coming in from our colleagues at Money Control Pro. Nandi Shah joins in with a stock that he's been tracking.
Hi, today's ideas for profit is Indian Metal and Ferroalloys. IMFA is primarily an exporter of ferroalloys, supplying to the hub of stainless steel manufacturer in the Far East. The company has two manufacturing units with the capacity to manufacture 2.84 lakh tons per annum of ferrochrome, along with 2 chrome ore captive mines and more than 200 megawatt of captive power generation capacity. Both the mines have long lease, with one expiring in 2049 and another in 2055. Recently, South Africa has increased the power tariff by 19% effective 1st April, which will lead to higher ferrochrome prices, with power being the second largest cost for ferrochrome manufacturing. Post the reopening of the Chinese economy, it has witnessed high demand for ferrochrome used in the stainless steel production. In addition, with the earthquake in Turkey, demand-supply imbalance is likely to lead to higher ferrochrome prices. Given the captive mines, the cost of chrome ore is 8,000 per tons for IMFA, while players who source chrome ore from third parties cost is nearly 15,000 to 16,000 per ton. Ferrochrome is a highly cyclical commodity, and hence the prices are volatile compared to steel. Currently, spot ferrochrome prices are trading at 1,25,000 per ton as against 52-week low of 93,000 per ton witnessed in the month of September. We advise investors with a higher risk appetite to accumulate IMFA at current levels and add on declines from a medium-term perspective.
All right, Nandish, thanks a lot for that. With that, we'll step to a short break. On the other side, we'll be joined by the Managing Director of Sandur Manganese and Iron Ores to discuss the recent CEC nod for the enhancement of their manganese production and more on their business outlook as well. Stay tuned. Bahirji Ghorpade joins in. Welcome back. You're watching us here on Chartbusters. Let's get straight to the corporate joining us today, Sandur Manganese and Iron Ores. Recently, we did see a bit of a spike in the stock on account of receipt of an approval coming in from the Central Empowered Committee to enhance its manganese ore production to more than double at 5.82 lakh tons per year. Bahirji Ghorpade, who's the Managing Director of the company, joins us to discuss this in detail. Thanks a lot, Mr. Ghorpade, for joining in. That really is, the first point that we want to delve on. What are the permissions that are required for this? Are all permissions in? And how long does it take for you to, ramp up this production? What can this mean in terms of incremental revenue for you?
First of all, good morning to you. See, we've got the enhancement approval for the maximum permissible annual production from 2.86 to 5.82. See, this is one of a few more approvals pending, which is the environment approval. We've got the environment clearance with us, but then the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board's consent for operation is pending, which we should have it during the first quarter. And ramping up the operations will not take much time. So we are already prepared for that.
All right. Hi, Birji. Thanks so much for joining in. So by quarter one, you're expecting all approvals to come about. And then I'm guessing by quarter two onwards, you'll start mining operations out there. Just going by the last disclosed rate of manganese ore prices that you all have put on the in your presentation of roughly around 7,000 rupees. This additional capacity would mean revenues of close to around 200 crores at least at current prices.
Should be close by, but at the same time, we are also increasing our ferroalloys capacity.
Okay.
Where we plan to go up to almost 95,000 tons of silicomanganese production. So there will be also significant increase in the captive consumption that will happen.
Okay.
And also the grades increasing. There will be some averaging out of the grades. With the quantity of production going up.
So how much of this additional manganese ore that you'll be mining will be used captively?
See, it will depend on the product. However, yes, there will be a fairly significant increase.
Could you quantify that? What does significant actually mean? I mean, because you are essentially doubling your capacity, but how much of that will be available for additional sale and how much of that will be captively used? Would you have any thoughts on that?
See, at least another 20 to 25% will be captively used. Okay. And then balance will be for additional sale.
Okay, so roughly 150 crores is what you can make through the sale. The other 50 crores used captively. How much will that support your earnings, EBITDA?
Yeah, it will definitely strengthen, but the way the prices have been fluctuating, and also we can expect when the production increases because we have mined and the mines have run for almost 7 decades now. So we will have to the grades we can may fall a bit, So that's where the average realization may come down, but then the overall revenues will go up with the quantity increase.
Okay, all right, got that. And any further capex you'll have to put to ramp up this?
It's just the OPEX,
Okay.
not the CAPEX for the manganese ore, because it is only enhancing the mining.
Got it. Your iron ore capacity is around 1.6 million tons odd. You have enhanced capacity there as well, I think. From this 1.6, you all were looking at upping it, I think so. Could you tell us what stage of approvals has that reached?
Iron ore capacity approval is in advanced stages. We had the public hearing for the environment clearance during early December. Post that, there was an expert appraisal committee meeting of the MOEF, and it is fairly in advanced stages.
Right.
So
Bajaj, if you could tell us, you could tell us how much are you looking to expand it from 1.6 to I think 4.5
to 4.5 million tons.
By when does that happen?
That also is in advance. Hopefully during the first quarter, we expect to get that. Okay. Because again, similar to manganese ore, once we get the environment clearance, we will have to go for the MPAP, maximum permissible annual production increase, which the Central Empowered Committee will provide. And also there are other pollution control board approvals required, because along with the 4.5 MTPA mining approval, we also will get a 7 MTPA beneficiation plant approval. So for that, we require a consent for establishment, and for the mining we require consent for operation. So it will take some time, but yeah, environment clearance is the most important approval, which should be in place very soon. Okay,
all right. So in all probability, both these additional capacities will be on full stream in FY25.
No, during FY24 itself, they will ramp up.
Okay, they will ramp up. So you're expecting that you get the approvals in the first quarter of FY24, and from there on you'll ramp up. Got that?
Yes.
Could you give us a sense on iron ore pricing? You know, the last quarter it was only around 2,400 rupees, but iron ore prices globally have moved up drastically. Even NMDC has increased prices. So what's the last price at which you are working with?
See, we are working with pricing very similar to NMDC pricing, and corresponding to the global trends and NMDC pricing that happens in the country, our pricing also has fairly improved compared to the third quarter during the fourth quarter, and our sales. The volumes also have gone up significantly, because during the first 9 months, there was a lot of fluctuation in terms of pricing and also in terms of uncertainty because of the Supreme Court order, which came during May 2022.
Got that.
And post that, things have now fairly settled, and also the markets also have strengthened.
Got that. And this increased iron ore capacity that you will get, will that be sold in the market as well, or some part of that will be used captively?
There will be some part of that which will be used captively.
20-25%?
See, that will be lesser, but however, as you may be aware, we are setting up our new project where we are coming up with an integrated facility to manufacture ductile iron pipes, which will also have a hot metal capacity. So that's where the captive consumption will increase.
Okay, all right. So give us a couple of details then on that forward integration, the ductile iron pipes. How much of money will you be spending on this? And by when do you see this getting commercial production from the ductile iron business that you're talking about?
The current commercial production will be during FY25.
Okay.
Early FY25.
Okay.
Or towards the end of 24, around that Q4, Q1. So, and the project also is advancing fairly well.
Capex?
Capex around 2,000 plus crores, as we have announced earlier.
Okay.
So that is what we are looking at.
And what are the asset turns on this Capex? How are you funding it? Is it all internally?
No, it will be both through equity and debt.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Bajaj, for joining in and giving us all those details. We will touch base with you in, hopefully in the first quarter of FY24 when you get all the approvals in for the manganese ore as well, and then we talk about your business going forward. With that, we take a short break. On the other side, we get chatting about markets and individual stocks. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Well, the markets are flirting with around 17,300 odds. So this intense selling pressure that we're seeing out there, you wouldn't want to break that level and trade well below that. As is, we're trading below the lows that we saw on budget day. But let's move on to a couple of stocks that are doing well. Paytm, that stock is higher in trade. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that Bharti Group was in talks with Paytm for a stake buy, but the deal fell through as the Paytm management declined to give up management control. Nisha has been on top of that. She's joining in to give us clarity on what transpired. Nisha?
Thanks for that. Yes, I've been speaking over the weekend with a whole host of sources who are directly involved in this and have direct knowledge on all the parties' interest in this particular transaction. Now, what I do gather is that Bharti Group had reached out to Paytm for a stake buy in the parent company. And those deal talks collapsed that very moment after one exploratory chat. And at the current moment, there are no deal talks between Bharti Group and Paytm, is what we gather. Now, what really transpired is that Bharti Group was also interested in exploring the management control in Paytm as a parent company, not just in the payments bank business, which is a common space in both the groups. Now, Paytm has also written to us stating that they are focused on strengthening the company in an organic way, and they are not looking at any deal transactions at the moment. Now, Bharti Group was specifically interested in management control, and those deal talks really collapsed at the moment. What we also gather is that Paytm's payment bank business is very different in terms of its business model compared to Bharti Group, and therefore they didn't see any strategic alliance also over there. In fact, when we reached out to Bharti Enterprises, they said no comments on market speculations. But here, the talks of two important investors also selling out or looking at selling their stake in Paytm has also been speculated. Here, I would like to say that Ant Group, as I found out, has to reduce some bit of their stake and maintain it below 25% takeover trigger limit as per SEBI norms, and they would be looking at doing that. But also remember, experts have pointed out that both Ant Group as well as SoftBank put together have 38% stake. So if there were any deal talks at Paytm, these would be some of the key drivers for that deal talk to take place. At the moment, is Bharti Group in talks with Paytm? Our sources suggest there are no deal talks at the moment.
All right. Thanks a lot for bringing us that clarity, Nisha. Thanks a lot for apprising us of the latest in that. With that, we are out of time on this edition of Chartbusters. But as we end, just keep an eye out on the mid-cap end of things. While the frontline index has slipped further, the mid-cap index is down almost 420 points now. 2,400 stocks declined for 500, which are gaining right now. Take a short break. Trading Hour comes up next.